In the beginning, there was nothing but God. He decided to create a beautiful world, a place of wonder and life. And so, from the dust of the earth, God formed the first man, Adam.
God carefully molded Adam's body, giving him strong limbs and a beating heart.
But Adam was not yet alive. He lay still. Like a statue, God leaned down and breathed into Adam's nostrils. This was the breath of life, a divine spark. Adam's chest rose and his eyes opened. The first man had been created. God placed Adam in a special place called the Garden of Eden. This garden was more beautiful than any other place on earth. Rivers flowed with clear, sparkling water. Trees burst with delicious fruit of every kind. Flowers bloomed in vibrant colors, filling the air with sweet perfume.
In the middle of the garden stood two very important trees, the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God told Adam that he could eat from any tree in the garden except for the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Eating from that tree, God warned, would have serious consequences.
Adam was happy in the Garden of Eden, but he was lonely. He needed someone to share it with, someone who was like him. God saw this and decided to create a partner for Adam.
As Adam slept, God took one of his ribs and carefully formed it into a woman.
When Adam woke up, he was amazed to see her. She was beautiful and graceful, and he knew instantly that she was meant to be his companion. Adam called her Eve, which means life, because she was to be the mother of all living.
One day, as Eve walked through the garden, she came to the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. A serpent, a creature known for its cunning, was coiled around its trunk.
"Did God really say you couldn't eat from any tree in the garden?" the serpent asked Eve, its voice smooth and tempting.
"We can eat from any tree except this one. God said if we eat from it, we will die."
The serpent chuckled softly. "You won't die," it hissed. "God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil."
The fruit, it looks so delicious and tempting. The serpent said it would make us like God.
Curiosity and desire overwhelmed her. She reached out, plucked the fruit from the tree, and took a bite. The fruit was sweet and satisfying. Eve felt a surge of strange new knowledge.
"Adam, you must try this."
Adam hesitated, knowing that God had forbidden them to eat from that tree.
But Eve, God told us not to eat from this tree.
"Please, Adam, it's incredible."
Adam, swayed by her desire and his own curiosity, eventually took a bite. Immediately, a profound change came over Adam and Eve. They felt a sense of shame and fear that they had never known before. They realized they were naked and tried to cover themselves with fig leaves. When they heard God walking in the garden, they hid from him.
Adam, where are you?
We heard you in the garden, and we were afraid because we were naked, so we hid.
Adam confessed that they had eaten from the forbidden tree. God was deeply saddened by their disobedience.
I gave you everything you needed, yet you chose to disobey my one command. Now I must punish you for your sin.
God told Adam and Eve that they had to leave the Garden of Eden.
You can no longer stay in this perfect paradise because you have brought sin into the world.
With heavy hearts, Adam and Eve left the garden that had been their home. They stepped out into a world that was now filled with hardship and toil.
This world, it's so different, so harsh.
We must stay strong, Eve.
At the entrance of the garden, God placed powerful cherubim, angels with flaming swords.
We guard the way to the tree of life. No one may enter.
These guards would ensure that no one could ever re-enter Eden and eat from the tree of life. The way back to paradise was now blocked. God's judgment fell upon the serpent first. Because it had tricked Eve and led them both into disobedience, it would be cursed.
Because you have done this, you are cursed above all livestock and above all beasts of the field. On your belly you shall go, and dust you shall eat all the days of your life.
The serpent, once a creature of beauty and cunning, was forever humbled. It would forever crawl on its belly, a constant reminder of its role in the fall of humankind. Eve also faced consequences for her actions. God told her that her pain in childbirth would be greatly increased. She would bring forth children in sorrow and suffering.
Your desire shall be for your husband, and he shall rule over you.
Her relationship with Adam would also be filled with tension as he would rule over her. This was a harsh punishment, but it was a consequence of her choice to disobey God. Eve's experience would be a reminder to all women that sin has real and lasting consequences. Adam, too, faced God's judgment. Because he listened to his wife and disobeyed God, he would endure hardship and toil. The ground would be cursed, producing thorns and thistles instead of abundant fruit.
By the sweat of your face you shall eat bread till you return to the ground, for out of it you were taken. For you are dust, and to dust you shall return.
Adam would have to sweat and toil to grow food for himself and his family. This was a significant change from life in the Garden of Eden, where food was plentiful and readily available. Adam's labor would be a constant reminder of the paradise he had lost through his disobedience. The expulsion from Eden and the placement of the cherubim with the flaming sword marked a significant change in the relationship between God and humanity. Paradise was lost and access to the tree of life was cut off. Humans were now separated from God and subject to sin, suffering, and death.
Behold, the man has become like one of us in knowing good and evil. Now, lest he reach out his hand and take also of the tree of life and eat and live forever.
However, even in his judgment, God showed his love and mercy. He provided Adam and Eve with clothing and allowed them to live and have children. Though they were banished from Eden, God did not abandon them.
The way to the tree of life is guarded, but God's love endures.
The story of Adam and Eve serves as a reminder of the consequences of sin, but also of God's ongoing love and grace.